Dundalk's dream dies at hands of slick Slovakians, so it's been a rude awakening for Dundalk in Europe this year. They really haven't hit the high water mark that we thought they were capable of. Beaten 3-1 at home last night by Slovan Bratislava. They were 2-0 down. It got back to 2-1, ends up 3-1 with a goal in the final minute and a 4-1 defeat on aggregate. So there's no room for doubt. It was straightforward for Bratislava over the two legs, and then Liverpool out to prolong Lampard's misery. It looks like N'Golo Kante might be out for tonight's game, and then obviously Celtic also defeat for them last night at home, beaten 4-3 at home, 5-4 on aggregate by Cluj as well. It sounds like it was a great game. Didn't see any of it, but
yep, that story's on the back of the Mirror as well. We were Clujeless, reads the headline on the Celtic story. No go for Dundalk then. Lily's European run ends, but their main story is it's our turn. Klopp says we want another Istanbul fairy tale. That's their preview to the Super Cup tonight. It doesn't get any better for Bry then, says Pat Nolan's story. This is Jackie Tyrrell talking about the 12th All-Ireland win for Brian Cody. If he wins on Sunday, of course, will be his greatest feat, yes. City given ban let off, says John Cross. And an interesting one here by David McDonald. Zidane to demand Pog deal. So Real boss Zinedine Zidane is understood to have demanded his club sign Paul Pogba before the La Liga transfer window shuts on September the 2nd. Now reports in Spain have suggested that Zidane could walk out in Real. Obviously he's just 5 months into the second coming at Real Madrid if they fail to sign Paul Pogba. So according to this piece, he spent the summer instructing Perez to secure the signing of Pogba, and despite signing Hazard, Jovic, Mondi and Militao, Zidane believes Real need Pogba to stand any chance of competing with Barcelona and Atletico Madrid. You've got to blame Zinedine Zidane for this a small bit, don't you?
which bit?
The fact that you were actually protesting and saying that you are going to step down as a result of summer business that you oversaw.
Florentino Perez oversees it though, no?
He does, but Zinedine Zidane is ultimately the manager. Like, these signings are not happening unless Zidane is kind of giving the sign off on them. Well, granted, Perez has a lot of autonomy, I don't deny that, but... And
certainly Graham, the way he was talking about it yesterday, it seemed like Perez is on a complete solo run. When it comes specifically to Neymar, I mean, are we led to believe that Zidane doesn't want any of the rest of the players?
Yes, except for Hazard.
Right. I mean, look, that seems like a lot of information that it's hard to buy, right? That he's like, no. All of them are crap. The 320 million you spent minus the 120 for crap. Not having them. Not my team. That sounds a little unbelievable.
It also seems like a poor workman blaming his tools.
Do you think there's any chance that Zidane walks out if on the 2nd of September if Neymar walks in as opposed to Pogba? He's like, no, I'm out of here. It's not what I was. These are not the conditions under which I will thrive.
Perez just knocks at his door. Hello, Zinedine. This is your new player assistant coach, Neymar.
And then give it 2 months and he's back for Christmas because that's how it goes. But Gareth Bale must be looking at this going, wow, things are working out, Gareth, aren't they?
Yeah, Gareth Bale and James Rodriguez, two of the biggest deadweights now in history at this point. And
Alexis Sanchez, that'd be good.
And Alexis Sanchez. The three of them to just form some sort of super three-a-side street team.
Cage football. The Irish Examiner, Tunnel Vision, Liam Sheedy, there is a path laid out for us all. So really interesting stuff about Liam Sheedy today, where he's talking about being passed over to become the Director General of the GAA and how he put everything into applying for that role and didn't get it, and then 6 months later takes the Tipperary job, and here he is in an All-Ireland final. First time of asking, second time around. So, look, I think Liam Sheedy would have been an excellent Director General of the GAA. Walking with Kings, TJ Reid up there with Henry Shefflin, his greatest ever, says Tyrrell, we've been talking about that. Kieran Shannon says there will be no monopoly in football's War of the Worlds. So I haven't had a chance to read this yet, but it looks like it's a piece about how Kerry are coming, and how Kerry are going to match Dublin. Oh, I took it out to read.
He uses the word duopoly near the end, so he suggested if there was going to be a bit of dominance, it could be two-team dominance. He's also pointing to this idea that Dublin's unbelievable run on Saturday night was, in a way, not to the same level, but in a way matched by what Kerry did to Mayo in Killarney, and that people should perhaps...
Cool the Jets
a little bit. That's what he's saying.
Kerry have a chance.
Kieran Shannon's definitely saying that Kerry have a chance for sure, yeah.
Right. You were making the point that the form line is exactly the same, that Kerry beat Mayo at home by the same score, roughly, by the same amount, that Did Kerry's run come at the start of the game?
First half.
Like it was over at half time.
Yeah, the second half they were actually kind of poor. I think they might have won the second half by 1 or 2 points. Or not even. Did they even draw the second half? I can't remember.
I buried the lead from the Examiner, of course. The top of the Examiner there again is Jack's back. Kerry legend O'Connor set to take Kildare job for next 3 seasons. So it looks like it's an absolute done deal at this point that the committee have recommended. The Drum appears as a man has been recommended by the county's management committee to succeed Cian O'Neill, and he's going to get a 3-year deal. So,
how do you feel about this, having had a couple of weeks to stew on it?
I mean, obviously, I really hope it's successful, and it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like, it's a tough gig for him because, you know, we look back at the talent that he had at Kerry, and it was sensational. That's it was all-time great talent.
It's better than the current team by distance.
In every line of the pitch, you had somebody who you can make a case for being a generational talent, and Kildare don't have that. So, like, what's his skill set? Is his skill set in getting the best out of players and giving them a style of play? Maybe it absolutely is, and it doesn't really matter what level of talent he has. But I don't know. And it's been a while since he's been involved at senior county level, right?
Yeah, you have to say it's his most unique challenge as a manager from the way he's looked at the world. He's gone into every championship he's entered almost as a favourite, from Kerry underage to Kerry seniors to back to Kerry underage. Granted, his last stint with the Kerry underage, despite I think going into most of those championships as favourites, didn't result in any All-Ireland. So he's got a point to prove as well, I think. I don't think the last couple of years people have been like, the team has aged well, but I don't think many people give Jack O'Connor that much credit for the exact reason that you say, because the team was so good. The back page of the Sun this morning is slow and steady wins the race, Dundalk out of Europe. And this one here from Neil Custis, it says Sanchez warning from OG, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer obviously. So what is the warning that Solskjaer has bestowed upon Sanchez? So Alexis Sanchez faces being banished to the Manchester United reserves unless he agrees to a move abroad. Roma want him on loan but refuse to pay his huge salary, and the Old Trafford side may have to share the burden to get him out. So United will have to fork out another 8.6 million quid in wages until the January transfer window on a player Solskjaer does not want in the first team.
Just I think you should linger on that for a second. How much money between now and Christmas?
£8.6 million.
To Alexis Sanchez in cash between now and Christmas. That is his wages for August, the half of August, September, October, November and December. 5.5 months.
It is interesting though that Sanchez warning from Solskjaer at the headline. There is no mention of a warning in this piece. Solskjaer, like, he's not quoted, there's no source. Custis quotes a training ground bust up with Mason Greenwood, but that happened right after the Copa America. There's nothing new in this. Like, man gets banished because manager doesn't think he's good enough. But
and is there no reclamation that can be done? Would that not be a really good thing for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to have like a fully fit, firing Alexis Sanchez?
A fully fit firing Alexis Sanchez would be brilliant, yeah.
So is there no point in trying that?
I think he realises that he's not fully fit, he's not firing. Although he did look good at the Copa America and people thought, there's your new number 9.
Yeah, I mean, I remember thinking at the time, why don't they give him a couple of months off? But if you're paying him 8.6 million in 5 months, it's like, well, every day off is like, that money is just like, that's dribbling through my fingers.
Between now and Christmas, that is one big fat David Luiz.
It is, isn't it? It's the same price. Okay, the back page of the Irish Independent this morning. TJ can eclipse King Henry's perfect 10, insists Tyrrell. TJ Reid deserves to be rated alongside 10-time All-Ireland winner Henry Shefflin on the list of Kilkenny greats, and could even surpass his medal haul, according to Jackie Tyrrell. Goff's Dublin links no barrier to being final ref McEnany. This is Pat McEnany speaking last night on... certainly he was speaking last night off the ball. It looks like Colin Keys may have also spoken to him. And O'Connor takes the reins in Kildare. That's the story that we've just been talking about as well. Dundalk defeat provokes questions. Celtic crash out of the Champions League in 7-goal thriller. And Brenny beat, I haven't read this yet, I'm looking forward to it. Boring football style turning public off. That's the... I mean, are Dublin and Mayo and Kerry not playing good football?
I would have thought they were. I would have thought that... Like, there seems to be a connection between what happened on Saturday night and the low turnout on Sunday, which I don't think is the case whatsoever.
People are making that connection and you think it's nonsense?
Yeah, I think people would have made their decision to not go on Sunday before they saw what happened on Saturday. that I know I was kind of saying that maybe people don't actually feel that either team that was playing on Sunday could actually win the competition, and that's why they didn't show up. But I don't know what, I didn't read Bretney's piece this morning either, but it seems that there's still a good way to go in his opinion in terms of fixing football. I'm going to move on to the London Times. They lead with City admit guilt to avoid transfer ban. Club only fined despite same offence as Chelsea. Basically only getting a fine rather than a transfer ban because they admitted what they've done. It's a £315,000 fine. Lofty sum for Manchester City. So Chelsea were given a 2-window ban in February but denied any wrongdoing. They were sanctioned over 29 cases involving the registration of minors aged under 18, while City admitted breaches for 27 or 28 youth players. But it just seems that rules have changed a little bit. If you actually kind of stand up and say, listen, we got things wrong, here's what you should fine us, then turns out FIFA will actually do that. The UEFA case, the big UEFA case, is still pending. So
I saw the headline last night. I was like, oh my god, this is wow. And then actually, hang on a second, this is not really the main thing that they're on trial for at all.
Not at all. The other story in the London Times this morning, it hasn't really been carried anywhere else. I haven't seen these quotes anywhere else. Cheat Gatlin is my mentor, says Coleman. This is Rick Broadbent. So you got the World Championships in Doha next month. This will be the first World Championships we have where Usain Bolt won't be running. And Christian Coleman, who is currently the fastest man in the world, was speaking before the Muller Grand Prix in Birmingham. He's 23 years old, Gatlin is 37, and he says, me and Justin have some history because we both went to the University of Tennessee. He did some really good things, and then I came through. The bond grew over that, and then we made the Olympic team. That's why we became friends and teammates. He's sort of a mentor as well because he's older and more advanced in the sport. So obviously this is kind of concerning when you see the fastest man in the world saying this sort of stuff about Justin Gatlin. He talks about that moment in 2017 when the BBC and Britain went absolutely crazy when Gatlin beat Usain Bolt. He says, I feel people follow trends, and at that championship, Bolt was the white hat and Gatlin the black hat coming to seal it away. I don't feel it. I don't pay attention. I feel the sport has done a good job in cracking down with drug testing. All I can do is focus on me and hope that every time I step on the line, everyone else is clean. Knowing Gatlin, I feel like he's honest and a fierce competitor. I'm happy that he was able to go through times early in his career that were tough and still be able to compete. He then says, and this is the killer line he talks about, American sprinting coming back to the top table, of course, with Bolt having stepped away. You say America is great again, but throughout history, we've always been great. So that's Christian Coleman there, a huge Justin Gatlin sympathiser. And
how old is this guy? What's like is
23.
Okay, so he's only entering the start now. We should get used to his name. If he's this good now, he'll be good in Tokyo. Is it Paris after Tokyo?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other American is Noah Lyles, the other guy that we have to keep an eye on. But yeah, he's currently the fastest man in the world right now. Like, he has been around for a while. 9.79 seconds is his best time. Is his best 100 metres time, which puts him joint 7th on the all-time list. So, I would say he's already a household name in athletics. He's easily a household name in athletics, but this is sort of... I've never actually heard him speak about this before, and I didn't actually know that he was mates with Justin Gatlin or they'd gone to the same university.
Conor McKeown had a good point on the pay-per-view at the weekend, saying that when he was a kid, he knew who the fastest 1,500 metre, 800 metre, 400 metre sprinter in the world was. And now, does anybody know those who isn't actually an athletics fan?
It's very true, actually. Yeah, it's.
I couldn't tell you the fastest 1,500 metre runner in the world is at the minute. Do you have any idea? This isn't a quiz. It's
I'm trying to rack my brain. Like you'd be able to say Caster Semenya in the women's race, but obviously that's a grey area right there. But what's the South African guy? Wade van Niekerk.
What, was he not 400?
Was he 400? He was 400, sure, he broke a world record of 400.
Yeah. So there you go. I just, what's the guy's name again, the 100 metre runner?
Christian Coleman. Christian Coleman's pretty famous, I think.
I mean, okay.
Or infamous now. Okay, can we start calling him that?
All right, we have a great piece up on offtheball.com. It's a bit of deeper digging and a deeper dive from Arthur O'Dea into the selection process that involves referees. So rigorous selection policy undermines Kerry's concern over referee. Arthur had a look at the message board to see where the kind of first instances, the genesis really of the anti-David Goff rhetoric was coming from, and it's certainly embedded deep in the message boards where they were like, oh look, this shouldn't happen. And then obviously that story grew legs a little bit, and he spoke with Willie Barrett, who's a former member of the referees appointment committee who refereed 2 All-Irelands in the 1990s, about how and why the referee for the All-Ireland final is selected. So He wouldn't have come this far without being well qualified. It is a rigorous process, said Willie, overseeing. Alongside Willie Barrett was alongside two other members selected by former GA president Eoin O'Farrell, with appointing referees for each and every inter-county game across Gaelic football and hurling. It's a gruelling, time-consuming commitment that requires a near constant line of communication to be kept open between committee members and the referees, along with frequent seminars, performance reviews and fitness tests. Barrett's experience of the organisation demonstrates the astounding care and diligence that goes into dealing with their responsibilities. Nothing is taken lightly and no decision is inevitable. So, certainly from the sounds that Pat McEnany was making last night on the radio, he felt like David Goff was favoured at this point.
Has the decision been made, do we know, or does it just get made before it gets announced? Or
That's a good question.
That is something that I'm curious in.
The announcement before the hurling final came 11 days before it. Now, I don't know if the telescoping of time and all the other fixtures that are on at that point makes that late or early. So I don't know if we should expect, I don't know if that's a guideline for when we're 11 days out, we should expect the announcement. But that was when it was communicated. You would assume that at some point they give themselves options. Pat McEnany was talking about they don't want anybody to referee a semi-final and a final, so that's why the semi-final referees feel like they're automatically ruled out. So you've got 4 quarter-finals referees, and he was obviously one of them. Did the last round of the Super 8s, and he did Dublin Cork, and
that's a very interesting point. Actually, I didn't know I didn't hear the piece last night, because Conor Lane is currently bookies' favourite to get the All-Ireland final, and
is he? Yeah,
and he refereed obviously last Saturday night, so that would preclude him if we're using McEnany's logic, which is obviously sound logic. He's been there.
They offer odds on who's going to referee the game.
Yes.
Obviously, a lot of people know who's going to referee the game.
If they're offering odds, yeah, it's only I think Goff is second favourite.
Right. Okay, that is interesting.
Although he has odds against. Last time I checked, I think.
Okay, so Dundalk were knocked out of the Europa League last night. Here's Vinnie Perth, their manager, speaking with Jamie Moore.
With Dundalk head coach Vinnie Perth. Vinnie, appreciate your time again. It's been a long month and a long day and lots of interviews. How would you sum up your feelings after that, and then maybe an hour after the game?
Yeah, listen, bitterly disappointed. You've got to take that one on the chin. I work to a high standard, and I believe in getting to playoffs at a very minimum in this club, but the standard is going up. It's going up every single year. You see Celtic being knocked out tonight. It's just the way it goes. It's very difficult. Got to take it on the chin. But ultimately my job now is make sure we're back here, make sure we win our league, and ultimately that's all we can do is get back here. And the more we're regularly in these situations, then I'd like to think we can learn from them.
Yeah, that's Vinnie Perth there speaking last night after his side went out of Europe. Difficult couple of weeks for them, obviously, knocked out of the Champions League and now out of the Europa League as well. All right, so we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back with Emmett Byrne's assessment of what the strength and depth of our front row is. Back after these.